A few hours ago, guys, we have found out some very surprising information that has caused a lot of outrage in the Clash Royale community. So the holiday season has arrived in Clash Royale. Have you been naughty or nice? So first of all, there's no balance changes, even though there's a lot of cards right now that urgently need a nerf because of how broken they are. And then on top of that, there's no boosted cards in the next season either, even though this is the time where people would appreciate them the most because level 15 is coming to Path of Legends where people would really find those boosted cards useful, so they at least have a few cards they can get to level 15. And as frustrating as this is, they did provide reasons as to why they made these very unfortunate decisions. So let's get into those. Alright, so this is their reasoning for there not being balance changes this month, because we're supposed to get them every couple months, and the emergency nerfs we got a few weeks ago, I don't believe counted as a balance change, because that was done just as something to do before World Finals. Anyway, reevaluating approach. The game developers have reached a point where they are reassessing how they want to make balance changes for the year 2024. So that means maybe they're going to change up how frequent they do them in 2024. I guess we'll see. They want to make sure they're making the best changes possible for the game and its players. Timing around World Finals. So this is what I was talking about. Before the World Finals, Supercell made some adjustments to balance certain aspects of the game. Introducing more changes in December didn't feel like the right time, as it could have disrupted the flow of competition. But in my opinion, the balances they did before World Finals don't count as balances because they only changed up a few cards, such as emergency nerfing, Little Prince, and things along those lines, but it wasn't a complete set of balance changes. Internal discussions. The Clash Royale team is having internal discussions to understand the importance of balance changes for both them and the community. They want to make sure that the changes they have will have a positive impact on the game and are well received by the players. Lastly, they talk about the influence on the meta. The balance changes are meant to shake up the meta, which is how the game is played at a competitive level. However, with the introduction of new evolutions and cards, the meta is already being influenced significantly. Therefore, the decision was made to not implement balance changes in December. And as you would expect, everyone is really angry about this reasoning. Julesy here is saying, so adding Little Prince and Evo Archers 2 weeks before World Finals is not disrupting the flow of competition, but nerfing 2 cards between December and February is? How is it disrupting the flow of competition? The competition is over. I think they are making fun of us. I can't explain this in any other terms. Now, Clash Royale removed their reasoning for why there's no boosted cards this season, but I wonder if the maintenance break had something to do with affecting that, because they did say there's a short maintenance break to prepare for the upcoming season starting next Monday. They tweeted that earlier today, but it's quite interesting, quite a coincidence that the one season that there's not boosted cards is the season that level 15 is coming in the game. So I don't know why, the bug or some technical thing happened that they weren't able to implement them, but that is quite interesting to say the least. So I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. This is what I was talking about. A few weeks ago, they did an emergency set of balance changes before the World Finals where they emergency nerfed the Little Prince, the Evolved Knight, and the Evolved Royal Recruits. But it was a small set of balance changes, and I don't think they can count this as a full set of balances, and I don't know if this is their reasoning for not doing balances this month, but if it is, that doesn't really make any sense in my opinion, because of course it would make sense. They're trying to balance the game before World Finals, and the game, wants the competition to be good and the game to be as balanced as possible. So, why not do an extra set of balances? But that doesn't mean you should take away the main set of balances just because you did one emergency nerf. And if you guys are wondering why people are so angry about there being no balance changes and what cards specifically people want nerfed, there's a lot of people that want the Goblin Giant nerf. You can see Surgical Goblin here, a pro, saying, can we all agree Goblin Giant needs an emergency nerf? And then Lucas, another pro, also saying the same thing. Man, we're not even asking for balance changes for 10 plus cards, just nerf Goblin Giant, please. And I'd also like to add the Evolved Archers into that as well. If we take a look at the top 200 right now, we see that there's 77 people using the Evolved Archers, and it's in a variety of decks. They're insanely versatile and the most broken evolution by far. And this is exactly why people, including myself, are so mad that there were not balance changes, and many people are protesting and speaking out against it because there really needs to be balances, because the meta right now is just being dominated by these 2 cards, the Evolved Archers, and then let me show you the Goblin Giant. As you guys can see, there's 50 people using the Goblin Giant in the top 200 right now, which is why everyone is calling for it to get a nerf. Now, that's less than the Evolved Archers, but consider it's 6 Elixir. The fact that 25% of the top 200 is using a 6 Elixir card really speaks volume about how broken it is. In my opinion, it should get half of the HP buff it got removed. So it got a 6% hit points buff, maybe take away 3%, and then it'll be pretty balanced. So let's read a few more comments and then we'll see what's been going on inside of Clash Royale Reddit. So basically this season adds nothing the community wanted. No balance changes and level 15 that we didn't ask for. No balance changes is truly the biggest joke I've ever seen. That's the third season without balance changes in such an unbalanced meta. How does it keep getting worse? There are no boosted cards. Bro, what are they doing? Alright, so obviously the community is pretty heated right now. Let's try to end the video on a positive note and see what's been going on Reddit the past few days. My take and thoughts on what these cards would be. Oh, he's talking about, wait, I'll show you guys 1 second just for some context so you know what he's talking about. So he's predicting what the card evolutions are going to be. The next one's coming up next year, those 6 ones you see a small picture of. So he's saying the first one looks like the Red Rider, and honestly, I kind of agree with that. Some people are saying Golem, but it looks quite similar to the Ram. I don't know, like Golem, I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I guess it's kind of hard to say. We'll find out. The Bomber, this one, ooh, I see that for sure. Yeah, it does definitely look like it could be the Bomber, especially because the Bomber is a common, and we know that they're doing a lot of the common ones first. And then this one, he's saying the Valk. I mean, honestly, yeah, from what you can see, it kind of makes sense because it does kind of look like the Valk, like the waist of the Valk. Yeah, that's a pretty good call there, I would say. And then this one, it looks like TNT, so they're saying the Wall Breaker. I wish it's Miner, Bomb Miner, so, I feel like that one could be a couple different things because there's a lot of units that have kind of like explosive stuff, kind of like the balloon and other things along those lines, but I suppose the Wall Breakers probably would be the most fitting to that, so maybe I'd have to agree. And then this, like, eye thing or whatever is saying the Inferno Tower. Honestly, yeah, that could definitely be a big possibility. Maybe the Tesla too, I could see it being that, but it definitely looks like it would be some sort of building for sure, unless it's something that something's wearing on the top of its head, but yeah, Inferno's a pretty good guess. And then lastly, he's saying it's the Wizard, the Evil Wizard. It could be the Wizard. I was thinking it could be the Electro Wizard, a lot of other people were saying that too, but I saw kind of like this guy, a lot of people were saying the Wizard, so I think that's a big possibility for sure. So this guy did some pretty good guesses, I would say, for what they could be. So we got the top post of the day here, average fisherman interactions. Let's check this out. So fisherman comes in and it's gonna pull the princess. You notice how it's weird now, like it's turned away and it's not facing what it's pulling all the time. That's a new thing. It used to not be like that. So fisherman's pulling the hog there, so it already pulled the princess, the witch, and the hog. That's already a pretty valuable fisherman, but then he uses the RG to counter push with it. Heal spirit, oh, heals up the fisherman as well as the hunter. Oh my goodness, that is value, value, value. It's also going to pull that witch. I don't know if it's going to die here. Was that a princess that shot it or something? Oh my gosh, it's going to pull the hog last second, isn't it? Bruh, that is crazy. Holy, nice fireball, bud.